I'm actually on my V Live. I'm not on my Facebook, so I won't be able to see some of the things. So just let me know if you can see our stream now.
So my wife and Christine are also watching in the room next door, so they
Yeah.
will also let us know.
So the stream has actually started.
Okay.
So which is amazing. Hi Dave, how are you?
I'm very well, and you?
I'm very well, thank you so much. I think I think we are live now. I think we've already started. Yes, we are live now.
Okay,
We are now
that's great.
we are now live, which is beautiful. I can see me, I can see you on the Facebook, which is quite beautiful. I didn't know that I look so good next to you.
Well, you certainly
Yeah.
look a lot younger.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much for tuning in, for being part of this amazing conversation that I'm about to have with David Wyllie. I don't know if I should call him my uncle, my grandfather, my father, my friend, my everything. He's more like a great teacher of mine that I met like a few years ago. By a few years ago, I mean we met I think 4 years ago, if not three. We met in 2018, I think we did. 2017, yes, that's when we met, Dave, you and I. Yeah, so then I don't want to waste any more time. I would like us to get into the gist of the conversation that I would like to have with you. And thank you so much, Dave, for actually agreeing to do this with me. I know like your time is something that I value so much, and I don't take this lightly. Thank you so much for for doing this with me. So how are you doing today, Dave?
I'm doing incredibly well, as always. I mean, if I
Yeah, as
wasn't
always.
doing well, people wouldn't take me seriously.
Sure. No, I agree with that. No, no, I agree with that 100%. So the other time when you and I spoke, I think it was on Tuesday, we had a few technical glitches which we resolved today. I'm happy that we did that. And so today I would like us to zone in into what we spoke about that other time, but to go a little bit more further, if time allows. So we're talking about the law of synchronicity, and then you explained it quite well. And then, but however, a lot of people missed that. A lot of people were not part of that conversation. Just to start us a little bit, Dave, I would like you to explain a little bit to people so that they know what the law of synchronicity is, and then how
Okay,
important it is.
sure. Basically, synchronicity is a law of the universe. It's a way of letting us know that we have perfectly aligned and we are perfectly in harmony with the laws of creation and manifestation.
Hmm.
Right. And we can't not synchronize. It's not possible. All right.
So
But
by default, we're synchronized.
we're synchronizing with our consciousness. So if your consciousness is a poverty consciousness or a sickness consciousness,
Ah,
you will synchronize with that. If your consciousness is abundance, then you will synchronize with abundance. Whatever you are looking for, you've got to be very, very careful about, because the reason why you're looking for something is because you don't have it.
yeah, I
All right.
love that. I
So
love that.
our
I love that.
subconscious is telling the universe, I don't have this and I want it. But if you go back to Jesus's teachings, for instance, he says, ask as if you have already received. You give thanks.
Yeah.
You don't ask for stuff, you actually give thanks. Now, every day I meet so many people that
Wow.
are begging for a different outcome in their lives. And all they're doing is
Wow.
they're bringing the law of synchronicity together so that they keep getting the thing that they're escaping or trying to escape from.
Because of their consciousness is in the things that they don't want.
Yes, it is. The only reason why I want a new Mercedes Benz is because I don't have one. And the more emotional I get about wanting one, the more actually I'm emotional about the fact I don't have it.
Oh, I see. I
So
see.
we
So you
need
are
to switch
synchronizing
that.
with the switch that. Oh, I see what you mean. So because what I was not understanding was that you were saying, there is no way we cannot synchronize. We will always synchronize. But the question is, what are you synchronizing to? So
Yes.
the reason why you're producing the very things that you're producing now, as your life is because of you have synchronized to the consciousness that is producing or manifesting that specific reality that you find yourself in.
Mm. I had a lady talking to me today who uh, is financially desperate. When the lockdown started, she got retrenched. And
Hmm.
everything she says, she's working her butt off. She's got so many job interviews. She's got so many things happening, but all of it comes to nothing. And the reason why it's coming to nothing is because of being desperate. So she's synchronizing with the desperateness, not synchronizing with the perfect outcome that she was hoping to achieve.
Wow, wow. And Dave, like just to actually, like confirm what you're saying, I'm so happy that the lockdown started just after I was with you. I think it was around February when you had that weekend workshop with us. Remember, like this year? I think it was February or January. I forgot when it was. I think it was somewhere
We
in the
had a
beginning of the year.
workshop in January, and then I went overseas to work. Yeah.
The one that I attended with a friend of mine. Yeah. So
Mm.
I think it was in Jan. Yes. So I'm happy that I attended that before lockdown started because from what you were presenting to us that day, you were explaining that imagine the like all the possible, like imagine the life that you want, and then fix your mind on producing, on being sorry, the cost that will cause that effect, because you were teaching us about the law of cause and effect, and you were telling us that no, don't focus on the effect. If the effect is money, so to say, what is the cost that will create the effect of you having money? Focus on being the cost that will produce that effect. And then after you said that to me, and I really like re-engineered how I was thinking. And then during the lockdown, funny enough, Dave, during the lockdown, I managed to get more things than I've ever got, like than I ever got in my entire life, so to say. I managed to get more business deals. I managed to get more things. I managed to accumulate more things than I did in this time where people are saying things are strained, things are scarce and whatnot. I managed to actually produce more. Like, and that's the real truth. And then I think I didn't know what I could attribute that success to. But when you explain it now, it is because I was really fixating my mind on actually, like producing the life that I actually want. So what do you think is the reason for people to always fixate their minds on their problems instead of fixating their minds on producing the life they want?
Well, it starts off, we've been set up. Remember, the foundation of all selling is I can't sell you something if I don't have to fix something in your life. The reason why you want a new motor car is because you don't have one. So I've got to get you to want a different car or a better car or a more prestige car or something. I've got to create a problem in order for you to come to the solution. So you come and give me business. I'm the solution. So the foundation of all selling is to understand people's problems. All right. So
Mm,
our whole free enterprise system has been set up so that you are indoctrinating people into believing in their problems, and then you are presenting solutions. I mean, this whole
mm,
COVID thing is a perfect example of this. Half the people in the world are terrified, and when you look
mm.
at the actual flu numbers and the actual flu deaths, It's just normal common flu. It might be a different bug. All right, the bug might be different, but the actual outcome
Mm,
is no different from common seasonal flu. But the whole world has gone into lockdown, gone into fear mode, gone into wearing face masks
mm,
and God knows what else. So their whole consciousness is, if I get this thing, I'm going to die. Well, if you get this thing, about 1 or 1.5% of people who get it die, and those people usually have something else wrong with them anyway. So it's a perfect example of what we're talking about, because they have been
mm.
brainwashed to think about the problem instead of planning a future. I think you were on
Mm.
on a course a while back with me when we had a terminal cancer patient on the same course,
No. I
weren't you?
was the one after. I was the one after. I was on the one after that one. You explained that
Okay.
one too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly the same thing. If you are focusing on the fact that I have a terminal disease, but I need to have all this medical treatment, all your fear base, all your energy, all your emotion is still going into your vision is, I am dying of a terminal disease. And all I've done over the last 40 something years of working with sick people as well as poor people and healthy, wealthy people, etc., is get them to change their point of focus. Okay.
Mm.
Imagine that you project yourself forward 5 years in your life, that you're taking your grandparents fishing in Mauritius for a holiday, your grandchildren, sorry, fishing in Mauritius
Yes.
for a holiday. Now get excited, get enthusiastic. Let that be your vision. Now, your brain cannot distinguish the difference between a real and an imagined experience.
Yes.
All right. So
Yes.
if you are imagining taking your children or your grandchildren fishing in Mauritius in 5 years' time, you can't be dead in 6 months. So
No.
now which one's going to happen? Okay, it's simple. Which one is going to happen? All right.
I see. I see. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that, Dave.
Yeah. And your brain will go to where the most emotion is backing the vision.
Wow. Wow.
All right.
Wow. So, yeah, okay.
Because your
Go on.
vision is only focusing your attention. All right. That's all your vision is doing. Your emotion is driving the universe to make your vision come true. Your emotion is saying to God, I need this. I need this. I need this.
Dave,
All
you
right.
gotta like okay. Okay, I apologize, Dave. You have to say that again because of
I don't know
this.
if I
This to
can.
me, please, like this blows my mind. So you're saying your vision only helps you to
Only
focus.
steers you. Your
Yes,
vision is
right?
like a steering wheel on a motor car. It's choosing the direction that your life is going to
Yes.
go.
But
Your
your emotion,
emotion is the motor driving you. The word emotion means to put into motion.
emotion.
All right. And the more emotion you put into it, that vision of yours, the more you are telling your universe, this is exactly what you must deliver to me. Now you think of someone who gets a
What?
terminal disease, or someone who's just been laid off from a job, or whatever. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter what it is. Just broken up with my boyfriend. And all the emotion is in the blame and the what's wrong.
I see what you mean. So the medium, so are you saying that the medium through which we communicate with the universe is actually the emotions? So the
Yeah,
emotions, so the more emotion we put into it, the universe can actually then, mobilize whatever that needs to mobilize, and then to produce whatever that the emotion is craving for.
that's right. If you look at the electromagnetic fields given off from your brain, and you look at the
Yeah.
electromagnetic fields given off from your heart brain, because your heart is made up of a huge number of brain cells. It's actually another brain in your body, like your
Yes.
solar plexus is another brain in your body. All right.
Yes.
Your heart brain gives an electromagnetic field off that's as big as you can stretch your fingers out on both sides of you. Your head brain gives off one that's probably, where do I get to here? Probably this big. Where's here?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
This
yeah,
big.
sure.
Okay, the actual electromagnetic field that emanates from your body. And when we meet a stranger, we get caught up in vibes. Now you can pick up a beautiful girl's vibe or a beautiful guy's vibes from the other side of the room.
True. That's true. That's true.
Because that electromagnetic energy is filling all that space. All right, and that's emotional energy.
I see what you mean. So, Dave, so then are we saying that because what you've just said is something that I believe is the key to manifestation, so to say. So what I want to understand now it is that whatever that we want to whatever that we want, obviously is our vision. Like we must envision it, yes, but we must invest emotions in actually like making that vision clearer. Like the clearer the vision, and then we must invest our emotions into it. We should not just be like just envisioning it and then that's it. We must also like have that emotional impulse, like invested in that specific vision. Is that am I hearing you correctly?
Yeah, and also remember that we've been socially conditioned to fear and to get caught
Yes.
up in our lack and everything. We haven't been socially conditioned to get excited about what we want in case we disappoint ourselves. So all our social conditioning has been set up to be destructive instead of being set up to be creative. And we have to turn that around ourselves. All right, there's no one who can turn it around for us. Remember, the other day I said to you, it doesn't matter how much weights I push, I can't make you fit.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
Exactly the same process. It doesn't matter how many books I've read or how much you're telling me things. If I don't control the emotional content that goes with my thinking process, I'm not in control. It's quite simple. First, I've got to take the emotion away from the what is. And I've got to put it into the future. But now I have to do something in the present that's taking me a step closer to that future. And this is where our intuition comes in. Right? Not logic, intuition. The word intuition means to be taught from within. Another way of explaining it is your divine voice or your God voice. Yeah. It will never lie to you. Your perceptions will lie to you. Your beliefs are all BS.
Yeah, sure.
All our beliefs are related to social indoctrination. And what you believed when you were 6 is not what you believe now.
True.
All right. What you believe when you've never gone to school is not what you believe after you've gone to school.
True.
All right. So our beliefs are changing all the time. Our beliefs are surrogate truths that we buy into. All right. But it's our emotion
I love that.
our intuition.
I love that.
Our emotion and intuition combined. All right. So our emotion will say, this is what you need to be driving. And then our intuition synchronizes and says, hey, go and do this. Or hey, go and do that. But the more we've been to school, generally, okay, the more we've been to school, we say intuition is for something that unintelligent people play with. I use logic because I've got a university degree. All right. Well, all your logic is based on all the BS that you've been taught instead of listening to your divinity. All right. Your intuition is your divinity saying to you, go here. And synchronicity happens when we've got this perfectly clear vision. Our intuition starts saying, go and phone Michael. How many times over these years have I phoned you and you said, my God, my teacher, how did you know you had to phone me today?
Yeah.
All right. And now I didn't know why.
What?
I was just
Yeah,
browsing
yeah.
through my phone and you popped into my head, so I pushed your number. I had no idea why. And every time it's because I need to put something into your world. All right. And our
That's interesting.
intuition, so long as our
Wow.
vision is clear and our emotion is driving that vision, our
Vision.
intuition will
Hmm.
always tell us where to go to. But now we have to act.
So, so you mentioned three things, actually four things now with the action. So one is the vision, two is the emotion that needs to drive the vision, and then three is that we need like our intuition will guide us, and then four we need to
We've got
act.
to do something with it. It's no good your intuition talking to you. I mean, how many times, silly example, how many times have you been driving your motor car down the road? You start thinking about traffic cops. You go around the corner and they pull you over.
Yeah,
You say, damn it,
and
I
you're there.
knew. Yeah, but you knew, but you didn't listen. Because logically, how can you see around
Yeah.
corners? But the point is that your mind energy, your spiritual being, is everywhere. It's everywhere and it's every when, and it understands every possibility. And it's your guiding force. So it's whispering in your ear. But we've got to listen and we've got to take our foot off the accelerator when it tells us there's a cop around the corner. Okay? If it tells you
I
you've
hear
got
that.
to go to the Wimpy, go to the Wimpy, even if you don't
The
like Wimpy
wind
coffee, because maybe your dream partner is sitting having
is
coffee,
there.
and that's where you're going to meet
Uh,
each other. All right,
wow,
we've got to
wow,
take
wow.
action. All right, if there's no
Mm,
action,
mm,
nothing
mm,
happens. Right?
That's
I
true.
mean,
I
Michael,
love that. I love that.
how many people do
How
you
many?
know that they pray every day? They pray, they pray, they pray, and then they sit and wait for a miracle. The miracle never comes to us. We've got to go and fetch it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think you once, like in one of the courses that I attended with you, you once told us that we are part of the miracle process.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We are all creators by default. Okay. We have got no choice. The curse or the blessing, whichever way you want to look at it, of being human is that we are creators by default. So if our consciousness and all these things we're talking about today are stuck in a squatter camp, then we've cemented our feet into the squatter camp.
True. True.
All right, so we're
True.
stuck there. If we've
Yeah.
been told we've got a terminal disease and we believe the doctor, then we've
We'll be stuck in
cemented
there.
our health into that outcome.
Mm,
All right, we
I
don't have
agree
to
with you on
believe the
that one.
doctor. We can say so my body's got cancer. But okay, epigenetics and neuroplasticity and all these things are showing us, and these are all modern sciences, are showing us that by simply changing our thought, we physically change what's going on inside our bodies.
Yeah, our biochemistry will change.
Yes, our
Yeah.
biochemistry will change according to the electromagnetic fields of our consciousness and our emotions.
Yeah.
All right,
Then
but
yeah, okay, no, explain that and I'm gonna ask my question later.
okay. All right, I've forgotten what I was saying. I don't know because I'm listening to myself talk.
Yeah,
So prompt me.
yeah, sure. Yeah, so I was gonna ask you to teach us a little bit about. I know it's quite a big concept because of it took you long to actually teach us. It took us like days for you to teach us. The concept of alchemy. Alchemy. I remember like you taught us about alchemy. So
All right.
how is that concept important and what it is, and then how can people actually be hooked to that or people know about that, so to say?
All right. Well, firstly, we've got to separate the parable from the principle. All right.
Okay.
And you've got to do that in everything in life. The parable of an alchemist is some silly old man somewhere who's worked out how to turn lead into gold.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And everyone says, well, that's got to be BS. Well, we know it's BS. I mean, you don't turn lead into gold. All right. And if you do, then we don't have to run gold mines anymore.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
But if you understand the principle of it, a thought has no energy and has no power and has no value until it's acted upon. But we are all alchemists. So you have a thought that has no value. And when you commit it to action and you turn the thought into a business or into a piece of poetry or into a beautiful new CD or whatever it is that you're busy doing, a wonderful new product you can sell to people, that's alchemy. Because you took something that had no value and you used it to create something that has great value. That's all alchemy is.
Wow, I see.
And we
I
can't
see.
not be alchemists.
All of us are. Yeah. Wow. That's quite. Yeah. No. Because like one of the reasons why I would like I wanted you to explain that was because I have seen so many people, especially the youngsters that I like to mentor. They have all these ideas and all of these things that they want to do and so on and so forth, but they end up not acting upon those thoughts or those ideas. I don't know, because of whatever limiting beliefs that they might have. But however, once, because I always remember your teachings about alchemy, saying that no, you can produce from nothing, you can create like whatever it is that you want to create, because of you are a creator by nature. Like we can't help it but to create, you know. And then you explain that if you don't believe it, look at your life now. Everything that you have now, you have created. Even the bad stuff that you don't want, you just created.
No,
You
we've
know what I
created
mean?
it all.
So yeah,
And the biggest problem
yeah.
that we have is most people have been trained to give away responsibility. It's not my fault,
Mm.
it's my genes. So you're blaming your parents. Okay? It's not
Ah.
my fault, it's poverty. And if they run out of excuses, it's not my fault, it's God's will. But God gave us free will and gave us the equipment to be apprentice gods. If you come back to the teaching of Jesus, he said, if you think like I think and you do what I do, you will enter the kingdom. It is within you. And he also said, everything I have done, you will do in greater.
You'll do more.
You
You'll do
will do
more.
more
Yeah.
than me. You
Yeah.
will do
Yeah.
things that I couldn't even dream about. All right. But we've been taught
So
to make ourselves subservient and worship instead of having him as a hero that we hero worshipped and became better than.
love that, love that. So dating the experience that you have, because you've been like, I always tell people that every time when I talk about you, it be maybe on my social media platforms, it be maybe talking to a friend, whatever. I always tell them that David Wyllie is somebody who have been doing this work longer than I have been alive. You know.
That's true, yeah.
So because of you, yeah, because you have enormous experience when it comes to this, like more than 4 decades, so to say, doing the work that you do. In your experience of doing this work, which people which people normally tend to actually make the most of your teachings? What kind of qualities in people normally make the most out of these teachings?
All right. When I first found the power, and I was probably only about 5 or 6, and I already had worked it out. But obviously, everybody that I knew, my parents and everyone, were telling me I was crazy and I was wrong, and the world was right, and that God's will is the will of the masses. And I used to ask people, well, do you really believe that God's some poverty-stricken guy who can't feed himself? He's living in ignorance. Because that's the will of the masses. All right, we've got this wrong. Okay, God, the universe is an abundant place. it's absolutely amazing. Everything creates abundance. And if you come back to the principle again, we are called consumers. Why? Because we consume in mass, we don't create in mass.
Create mass, yeah.
Okay, so if we're taking more out of the bucket than we're putting into the bucket's going to get empty. That's called poverty. All right. So the vast majority of people create their own poverty, but they want someone to blame. All right.
True.
A few of us work out how to create our own wealth, accept total responsibility for everything we do wrong, every mistake we make. We never beat ourselves up when we make a mistake. We say, I found one way that doesn't work. We'll never do that again. All the other people say, I work harder and harder and harder. And you say, what are you doing? Exactly what I did yesterday. Well, if you keep working harder at what you did yesterday and putting more emotion to what you did yesterday, you're always going to get the same result that you got yesterday. So you can never make progress. Right? We have this incredible thing built into us that I call divine discontentment. The thing that moved us from the cave to where we are now. All right. It doesn't mean I'm not grateful for my life. I'm absolutely grateful for everything that brought me to this moment of realization. At this moment of realization, I can make a choice. I can choose to change direction. I can listen to my intuition. I can get into action. I can call all the coincidences that the universe will set up so that it just tumbles into place for me effortlessly.
Wow. Okay.
Right.
So
it's that simple.
yeah. So because of one of the reasons I'm asking you this question, Dave, from the experience that you have and the people that you've been teaching, obviously there are those who made the most out of your teaching, and then there are those who did not make the most out of your teachings.
And I kind of got off on a tangent. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
All right.
No. Yeah. Yeah. No.
All right. The crazy thing is the people who don't need my help are the ones that use what I teach them unequivocally. They just grab it and they run with it. All right. The people who really need my help, they are their problem. And it doesn't matter. They can sit in the room and they say, you're talking BS. It doesn't work. I know it doesn't work because my life experience is telling me it doesn't work. No, your life experience is manifesting your consciousness because your vision is stuck in your problem. Your intuition is keeping you in your problem. What you're acting on, what you're doing is keeping you in your problem. So all your coincidences are staying in your problem. Whereas people who are already successful are looking for a way to just tweak themselves up.
And then, just to stretch themselves like just a little bit.
Yeah.
Stretch themselves a little bit, yeah.
All right. And over the years, I've learned that the people who really need my help, will never come to me. My job isn't to help the willfully helpless. My job is to help the people who want to help themselves. And if you're not doing something to help yourself, I can't help you. If you don't pitch to a workshop, I can't help you. If you don't change your mind when you get two kinds of people coming to workshops. You get the idiots who come to workshops to find out that their BS is true. And they fight everything that's contradicting their own BS. And you get the few people who come to workshops who are looking for a way to change their social conditioning. All right, so then they can change their attitudes, they can change everything.
I see what you mean. Right. And I think it goes back to what you mentioned earlier on. You said, you answered my question, but you thought you didn't answer it, but you answered it. You answered it when you're talking about divine discontentment. It's like you know that there is better out there. You know that yes, I'm grateful for what's happening, but is there more that I can experience? Is there more that I can explore? Is there more that I can be, so to say?
Yes, now you have to put all your clarity of vision into your vision that is at the horizon of your discontentment. All right, how far into your own future can you see? That's where you
Wow.
need to be focused. All right, but you can't
Yeah.
do anything there. People say next week I'll be successful. You can only do something now, today. All right. But if you don't know where you're going, you can't drive your car to the right place.
Yeah.
All right. So you got to know I'm going
Yes.
to Cape Town, and then you get the road signs that help you get to Cape Town.
I see that.
But if your focus is I'm stuck in a squatter camp in Gauteng, but I would love to be in Cape Town. Well, your focus is in the squatter camp in Gauteng, so you're stuck there. All right, you've got to make up your mind you're going to Cape Town. And now the coincidences will happen. Someone will offer you a lift, even if you don't have the money. But something will happen that will take you towards the thing that you are emotionally involved in your vision.
I see.
And
And
there
Dave,
all the
how
coincidences set up.
and Dave, this one question is actually very personal to me. Like in a sense that is something that I struggled with for the longest time. And then is one of the things that you used to give me a big hiding for like for it as well. But now
Only
now
one
now
thing.
like yeah, no,
Only one
no,
thing.
this one thing. No, there are a couple of things, but this one thing is the one that stood out the most. So used to give me a big hiding for like for this. This thing of keeping your word. You always want like Michael, your word is your bond. Your word is
Yes.
your bond. Keep your word all the time. And then I'm like, every time when I'm giving Dave my word or whoever my word, or making a promise, I'm not making that promise with an initial intention to break it. But however, I end up breaking it. And I'm like, why am I in this destructive behavior or habit of always not keeping my word? Now I don't want to lie to you, like it has improved like immensely. And then it's a result of that, like, and I can see the results of that. But I'll lie to you if I tell you that if I give you the steps of what I've done to actually improve it. So, but what do you think people should do to to keep their word? One, or if you want to generalize, what people can do to dismantle their destructive behaviors?
All right. To me, it's simple. A simple question of integrity.
Mm,
Okay. And I give people integrity tests all the time. I will say to someone, if you want my help, phone me at 3:00. Okay. The next day at 4:30, I get a phone call. Sorry, I was busy. Well, you obviously don't want my help, and you have no integrity, because we made a condition that you would phone me at 3:00. If you don't value my time, it's probably because you actually don't value yours either. Right. And people
wow.
turn around and say, but you don't know how busy I was. Yes,
Wow.
but were you busy being an idiot, or were you busy doing the thing that will give you the end result you want? All right. So in the whole thing, I just keep setting up little integrity tests for people. And I say little integrity tests because if you give someone a little integrity test, like we meet for coffee at 10:00 at the Mug and Bean, all right? And they arrive at 10:30. I'm not there.
You can't.
I'm gone, all right? Because they've told me by the action that they have no respect for my time.
Love that. Love that. I
Okay.
love that.
Now, if they turn around and say, I've got a business opportunity, I want to do this with you, or I want to do that with you, I just laugh. Because if they fail the tiny, easy to keep integrity test, they're never
Then
going to
one.
pass the big one when the nonsense hits the fan.
Do you think, Dave, to a certain extent, because of with me, like the integrity test, so to say, keeping my word, one of the things that I would say, one of the exercises that I've performed, or one of the things that I've been doing religiously, so is this thing of always changing how I see myself, how I perceive myself. Do I see myself as a person who people can rely on? Do I see myself as people that like somebody who's dependable? And then as I was busy like rehearsing that and then changing how I see myself and then building respect for myself. I remember this was the test that was done by Christine when we had our workshop. So she did this value test with us, and then one of the biggest advices that she gave me was that make sure that all these things that you value on your value list, you point them to you. And then if one of your highest values is respect, then make sure you respect yourself more than anything else in the world. And then inevitably you'll respect others. And then he said, make sure you are very kind to yourself, and inevitably you'll be kind to others. And I think that for me was a game changer because I started to then go like, okay, I see myself as somebody who's dependable. Then when I make promises, I think about them carefully now. Like, okay, will I be able to do this thing? Do I have the capacity to do that? Like, because of I do not like I'm like because I started to respect myself more to a point whereby I wouldn't want that disrespect to actually spill to other people, so to say. So the reason why I'm telling you this story is because I want to ask you a question of, do you think that assessment of self is important in helping others to dismantle their destructive behaviors, so to say?
Obviously, in reality, the only thing you have control over is who. I only have control over me.
Yes.
All right. And the world becomes a mirror of the way I treat me. Now I can read all the right books and make all the right noises.
Mhm.
All right. It doesn't mean I'm living that life. In fact, I'm generally terrified of people. You know, if you want to get screwed over buying a motor car, go and buy it from Honest Joe, the car salesman. Okay, because if he's got to advertise he's Honest Joe, something's wrong.
True, true, true.
All right. You know,
True.
if you believe your own marketing, you've got to be delusional. Okay. So the first thing I've got to do is I have got to be honoring my divinity.
Mm.
Okay. If I'm honoring my divinity, if I'm treating me as if I was God, so I'm
Wow.
serving God.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Please
If you
explain
want
that more.
God to keep his word, then you got to do your half. All right. So I've got to be an expression. Everything that my life entails has got to be an expression of the
Mm,
integrity that I expect the universe to treat me with. Have you noticed how most people who moan like hell that people lie to them spend their whole life lying?
true, 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 true.
Okay, it doesn't make sense. All right.
I
When I
like that.
get
I
when I
like
get me right, then the vibe that I give off, the electromagnetic field that I give off, will attract back to me the perfect reflection of my own integrity.
I love that. 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 So Dave, like, sure. because of like I know like it's almost impossible to actually like take everything that's in your brain like in an hour, because remember like we do these things in days, like when we are in your workshops, like it's for a number of days, or maybe in your 1 day workshop is the whole day, that type of a thing. So trying to compress this into an hour is almost impossible, obviously.
Okay.
So yeah. So which
Okay, you've stopped talking. I don't know why you stopped talking, but let's come back to synchronicity, because everything, the law of synchronicity is not a law in itself that isn't related to all the other law. All right, I think I've lost you. Have you gone offline?
I don't know.
Uh,
I
no,
don't know yet.
he seems to be frozen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, am I still online?
I think you are.
Okay, the law of synchronicity has got to be looked at in conjunction with the clarity of vision, with the intuition, with the action. Then the action is working all the coincidences, tied into the emotion, the love for what you're doing. If you look at every one of the world's superstars, without exception, they love what they're doing. Those of you who are my Facebook friends, if you look at my favorite quote, it says, "Make love to your day." Right, that's what I do. I get up in the morning and I make love to my day. If I have a conversation with you, I'm making love to our space together. If we go out for coffee, the only thing that counts is you and I having coffee together. I'm making love to that process. Okay, I'm giving it my all. I'm sharing everything that I am. If I can't give my all to my dream, to my vision, if I can't give my all as respect for the person sitting opposite me in the coffee shop, then why am I there? I have to be giving my all to whatever it is that I do. All right, so the synchronicity happens because all my energy, my clarity of vision, my heart energy, my gut energy, which is my intuition, my heart energy, which is my feeling, my head energy, which is my vision for my future, are all getting me to act in a spirit of love. And that combined energy is setting up all the coincidences that will naturally manifest everything that I'm focused on. It is just that simple. Are there any questions or anything, Bart? We seem to have lost Michael. Is there anything are there any questions from the audience that are listening to me? Because I'm
Yes,
not reading
one.
the screen at all.
Can one actually choose which kind of social beliefs one embodies, and to what extent can one alter certain social beliefs that we grew up with, either in families, schools, or work, etc.? That is Paul Mafolo who asked the question.
All right. What are social beliefs? Okay, they are beliefs held by generally the majority of people in your world. Now, the first simple question you've got to ask yourself is the result that I'm seeing around me, are the lives of all the people that are around me the kind of life I want to live? If the answer is no, then you have free will to let go of those social beliefs. If you want to believe that which creates fear, then you're free to do that. You have free will. We all have free will. All right. Our social beliefs are the things that keep a community together. But the reason why, and we spoke about this last time, Michael, the reason why a community creates a place like Deep Slope is because all their social beliefs are basically about poverty. and living on top of each other and not having enough and. Well, if you
Yes.
want to stay in Deep Sleuth, stay thinking like the people in Deep Sleuth.
Yes. Yes.
If
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want to
Because
stay in a hospital because you're always sick, stay doing what keeps the medical profession in business and you shelling out their salaries and their pension funds. If
yeah.
it doesn't work for you, if you don't want to be sick, don't do what makes you makes you sick. It's that
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
if all your friends drink and you wake up in the morning with a bubbleless and you enjoy the bubbleless, then drink.
Yes.
If you don't like the bubbleless, there comes a time in your life where you've got to turn on and say, not enough. When I was in my early 20s, back to a story of my life, when I was in the early 20s, I was sitting in a pub one day with my friends and I was starting to get a little bit inebriated. And a picture went through my head. My father used to drink a hell of a lot.
Yes.
And I heard this voice in my head say, you're going down exactly the same road as your father. And I was
Wow.
terrified. I pushed the beer aside. I ordered a Coke. My friends laughed at me and the barman said, Sonny, the milk bar's down the road. It was the last time I ever had a drink.
Wow.
And I didn't care that I lost most of my friends. If my friends wanted me to be drunk, they weren't my friends. If my friends
Yeah.
want me to be poor, they're not my friends. If my friends want me to be like they are, instead of the greatest thing that I can be, then they're
Possibly
not
be.
my friends.
I love that. I love that, Dave.
Michael,
I
I can't
remember
hear
you.
you. I know you're saying something, but I can't hear you.
No, I'm saying I love that. Can you hear me now?
No sound,
Are you
Michael.
serious? But I can hear you.
Okay, I can't hear
Let
you.
me check something. Let me check if maybe my mic is off or something. But my mic is
Right.
on, eh?
While we're trying to get Michael's sound back, do I make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, but let me check something quickly.
I see we've even got people
Uh,
from Canada
I'm
watching
not sure
us
if
tonight.
others can hear me. I think you're the only
Amazing.
one.
Hello, Aaron, one of my students from about
Yeah,
30 years ago,
that's amazing.
I think.
Wow.
And Kate Jones.
Wow. So Dave, you can't hear me still.
Where's this thing? Yeah. I've got to get this right. When I look at myself in the screen, everything's happening on the wrong side. So. All right.
Let's see. Dave, can you hear me now?
Sorry, bring back synchronicity. Aaron asked to list 4 things.
Hi, Dave. Can you hear me?
What's it? Things that make vision. Everything happen. All right. Okay. Quite simply, the first thing that you've got to do is you need clarity on what you want. So make a list. Okay. One of the things that I teach my students to do, which I've been teaching to do since 1974, is never go to bed at night until you can look yourself in the eye and say, I'm more than I was when I woke up. All right. I'm slightly better than I was when I woke up. And the other thing is I will never go to bed until I've got clarity on things that I want in my future. So I'm starting to build the vision. Now, I don't chase the Mercedes-Benz or the beautiful home or the whatever. Okay. The first interest that I have is who do I want to be as far into my future as I can see. Now, what am I doing now that's going to take me there? The right house will happen. The right wife will happen. The right motor car will happen. All the things that that person should have will happen when I have become that person. I don't have to worry about all the stuff that's going from where I am to there. I have to hold in my vision the furthest point I can see in my future and get as
Mm,
emotional as possible about the excitement of the outcome of that.
loved it.
And now listen to my intuition, act, do
Loved it.
something that's taking me one step closer to that
Loved it.
amazing being that I am foreseeing myself becoming. And
I
I do
loved
it
it.
as if it is already true.
Hmm. Hi, Dave, can you hear me now?
One of the questions that I often ask, I can't have Michael, so I'm just waffling away. Okay, one of the questions I often ask people on training course, if you woke up tomorrow morning and you were a millionaire, what's the first thing you would do? Almost without exception, everybody says, I'd go and buy a new house, I'd go and buy a new car. But if you ask a millionaire what he would do tomorrow morning, he'd say, I'd take that 1 million and work out how to turn it into 10. And I would buy the house and the car with the change that I created. I wouldn't buy the house and the car with the money that I suddenly won or received for whatever reason. All right. Everything comes back to what am I using my tools for? I'm a tool. I'm a divinely created toolbox. In reality, I'm the greatest tool that man knows about. There's technology in me that man doesn't even understand yet. We think our smartphones are smart. They're dumb. We process millions and millions of bits of information per second. Every 1/25th of a second from birth, in fact, from conception to death, we are processing millions of pieces of information. All right. We are so incredibly smart, it is crazy. Every cell in our body is listening to our thought pattern and saying, I need to change to make that come true. And if the cell can't make that come true, the cell voluntarily commits suicide so that its energy can go back into the recycle bin, so it can be recreated as a new cell that can make that vision come true. The
Wow.
trouble is the average human being, by the time the cell's done that, has changed their minds and said, yes, that's what I wanted, but I'm actually too stupid to have it. So now the cell has got to say, well, now I'm too damned intelligent for you. So now I've got to put myself back in the recycle bin and come back as an idiot so that I can match your thinking. And it's crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I think we've got it.
I'm going to cut you
Yeah.
off. We're going to reconnect.
Okay.
Hi guys. We're gonna leave Dave a little bit for now, but we're gonna get him back again so that we can wrap up. This is just so that we can fix our audio so that he can hear me as well. Because at the moment Dave could not hear me, remember? So I want him to be able to hear me. So he's gonna come back again. Then after that. So, but yeah, how's that, guys? How is that? Like that is something else. Don't know how to put it.
Hello, you back
But,
now?
I'm back. You can hear me now, right?
I can hear you now, yes. Nice to
Perfect.
have you back. I got
Perfect.
lonely talking to myself out there.
Yeah, same here as well. I'm like, no, but people were having a taste of how is it like to be in the same room with David Wyllie, at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Right.
in the wrapping update, because I think we are almost reaching our
We're over
hour.
time. I think we're over time, yeah.
Yeah, we are over time, which is beautiful. No, well, I don't think it's a bad thing. So, but I would like you then to tell people about the 18th of July, because, like I said, it's almost impossible to compress your content in 1 hour. So, but for those who are willing to take a step further, who are willing to actually, get the most out of their lives, they should know that there is an option for them get get the most of you than on this 1 hour live thing that we have. So what will be happening on the 18th of July?
All right, on the 18th of July, I'm running a thing. Everyone's talking about the new normal. Well, the new normal can be mass consciousness, and what the system is trying to condition us into believing is that new normal, or we can apply this, we can apply our clarity of vision, we can apply our intuition and all these things, and we can create any future we want to create. We don't have to choose to be what the masses are being indoctrinated to accept. None of us have to do that. And I'm going to be dealing with that specifically related to this lockdown nonsense and everything that's going on around it on the 18th. The problem is that at the moment, the way the regulations stand, we can only have 10 people at a business meeting. And we're not allowed to run a conference, but we can have a business meeting. All right, so I can only take 10 people. And it's really quite simple. The first 10 people who send us back an application form. And incidentally, it's by donation. My normal fee is 4,000 Rand for a day. I'm not charging 4,000 Rand for a day because a lot of people haven't been working. So whatever they can contribute, bearing in mind the morning teas, afternoon teas, lunches, there's staff backing them up, and this is all costing money. Okay, so I expect people to contribute something.
I agree.
Because personally, I don't believe that anyone who wants anything for nothing is actually even worth teaching. Okay, if they want something for nothing, they're going to do nothing with it. Because the group has to be so tiny, if there's an overflow of people who want it, and obviously there's going to be, what we will do is we will set up subsequent. So we'll just do it again and again and again and again while people want it. And obviously it's a one-day workshop. It's only a one-day workshop. It will be partly experiential, partly theoretical. So we will make you start to do the things that make what we're talking about tonight easy to handle. Because the bottom line is we can't learn anything theoretically. Theory is only theory, and it remains theory forever. Until we can make that theory into who we are, it's only theory. We've got to turn it into a personal, practical reality. All right, so the day will be split into two parts where we give you the theory, and then we start to get you to do some simple things that will start to change that. But a word of caution, guys. A one-day workshop doesn't change anybody's life. If you don't go away and apply it, and if you think that I can create a miracle for you, for goodness sake, stay away. We don't need you in the room. I only want people who are going to commit to doing something differently. Remember, I have never advertised what I do, ever.
Never, I know.
Okay. My students are my ad. And I don't want anyone sitting there that's going to be a bad ad for me. All right. So, yeah. If you're looking for a miracle, stay away. If you're not looking for a miracle, do something today. My closing shot is really very simple. Don't go to bed ever again in your life until you can look yourself in the eyes and say, I'm a little bit better today than I was when I woke up.
I love that.
God bless you. Thank you very much.
I love that. Love you so much, David. Like if we were in our normal workshop, we'll be giving each other hugs.
Now we'd be hugging each other.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. Send my regards to Christine, and also Mr. Bot. Thank you so much for helping us with the tech and everything. Really appreciated everybody everybody who took part in making this happen. And thank you to everyone who has logged on. Everyone who has been with us since 7 o'clock until now. People are still sending their comments. They're still commenting and giving us their feedback. It was a beautiful thing. Thank you so much, Dave, for blessing us with your presence. I can't thank you more.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Dr. Bart Kurik.
Cheers.
Without you, this wouldn't have happened like this. It's been absolutely amazing. And thank you for every one of you that has been contributing.
Exactly.
Without you, it wouldn't have happened. Thank you, and God bless you all. Good night.
Good night. Cheers, guys. Alrighty. Oh, okay. That was it, guys. Thank you so much for everybody who have joined in. That was amazing. That was so amazing. Yeah, man. I don't know. Like I feel like I'm high on something after that. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was David Wyllie, like a spiritual teacher of mine, a person that I've known for years, for like 4 years now. Yeah, that was beautiful, guys. So everybody can agree that that was nothing short of a miracle. That was beautiful. That was really beautiful. I'd really love to have Dave